Hello, all you beautiful people out there. Come join me for another walk as I go around the cul-de-sac a couple of times, keeping myself as I got the sun behind me. You can see me in the shadow over here. Just trying to get out and keep myself moving. It's been good. It's been good. I've been doing my best to keep myself as active as possible. Not necessarily, I don't always necessarily get my walks in like I would do around the cul-de-sac, but I do get my walks in when I've been going out and doing other things. Even when Logan had his car, I was out trying to, just go off to the, get my walks in when I would go catch the bus and do all this other stuff right now. And so I've already gone out earlier today. I had to go run a couple errands, and I had to, of course, use the bus system, which is not bad. I mean, if you've seen our video on the toucan trolley we just did, it's a lot of fun. There are a lot of times where it's like you can be able to just kind of sit back and relax and read a book, play a game, just kind of think about some things that are going on. But yeah, now that we no longer have a car again, unfortunately, we're just kind of back to what we were doing before, just taking the bus and walking everywhere, and it's good exercise. I mean, even when I'm out just walking around and going to the store and picking stuff up, running some errands, it's nice to be able to just get up and walk around. It's like, I don't mind being cooped up in the house and, working from home. But after a while, you gotta get out into the air, into the sun. And today was in the low 60s, so it was nice. It's a little cool. The only thing though right now is that I'm gonna be without my wife and my daughter for a few weeks. They're going up to take care of my mother-in-law, who's having surgery this week. So if you see this, I hope you get well soon. But Cindy went up to go be with her and to help her out. And, a lot of people said, oh, so you're going to be a bachelor for a... No. Don't put that in my head, that I'm going to be living the bachelor life, because bachelors are those who are not married. And I am very married, and I'm very happy to be married, especially to the woman that I have. We have a lot of fun together. I mean, it hasn't been always, gumdrops and roses, but I think the good times very much outweigh the bad. Just a lot of times people tend to focus on the bad. They don't ever focus on the good. I like to focus on the good. I don't like to focus on the bad. But they're not going to be with us for, they say a few weeks. I'm hoping it's not going to be as long. I'm hoping that she's going to be coming back pretty soon. But, that means that us guys are going to have to be the ones to kind of carry the load. We're going to have to make sure that the cooking gets done, the cleaning gets done, the laundry, all that fun stuff gets done. You know what I'm saying? Gotta make sure it all gets done. I'm not opposed to that. I like that. It just means I gotta switch my schedule around and get some things done. I gotta keep my appointments and make sure I both get my work done and I get my housework done. make sure that I get the cooking done so that we got food to eat for dinner. We got to go grocery shopping, make sure that we got some stuff to eat, which I'll probably do tomorrow. I'll probably be out tomorrow getting some grocery shopping done. Yeah, but I mean, these are the things that happen. You gotta kind of go with it. You know, so I'm probably only going to be doing probably one lap today because, like I said, I was out earlier. Maybe I'll go for, let's see how I feel. But I already went out for a walk earlier. But I gotta try to keep doing more. All you people keep telling me, keep it up, keep it going. You're doing great. That's the encouragement I need. That's the encouragement I have to have. Because Lord knows, if I left it up to me, I'd probably sit in the house all day. Just getting my work done. But this also, with my wife not being here for a little while, also gives me a chance to get some other things done I wouldn't necessarily be able to get done. Got a lot of reading I have to do. Got a lot of stuff around the house I have to do. How do I feel? Do I go for another lap? Oh, why not? Let's see how far I can go. All right. But, you know, I've been doing some really good reading lately. Not just in my Bible, but I've been, got a new book I've been reading about male depression, which I know a lot of guys out there who are like, male depression? Men don't get depressed. Yeah, that's the exact attitude that got us in trouble in the first place. Saying that we don't get depressed, you know. Oh, we're men, we can handle stuff like that. And then we end up having a mental breakdown and things around us kind of fall apart. All because we're not true to ourselves. We don't bother to tell ourselves the truth about our mental illness. And I think we just recently had, you know, Men's Mental Illness Month. And I admit, you know, I grew up at a time, I think a lot of us men did, at a time when if you had a mental illness, you were weak, you know. We grew up with the sayings of, you know, walk it off and, you know, you can handle it, throw some dirt on it, you're gonna be fine. And then all of a sudden, we wake up one day and all the pressures of our life have just come crashing down. I know a lot of you going, oh, boo-hoo. But I realize, though, that as I'm reading this book, that sometimes male depression happens. The signs of it basically show that, you know, like anger, frustration, not just like sadness, like, right? Not just because we all think of depression as like being sad. I'm just, you know, oh, what do you have to be sad about? Look at your life. And truthfully, yeah, I look at my life, I'm very blessed. Very blessed. But if you think about it, you know, I think a lot of my frustrations were about, you know, my being depressed. I'd be depressed about, you know, not being able to work, not being able to earn an income. Got depressed when I was sitting in the hospital. You know, my leg all bandaged up. thinking of, there's a kind of a weight that comes along with it. It's like, you're like, you realize, I won't be able to do what I used to be able to do. I'm not young anymore. A lot of that stuff weighs on you. You know, I think everybody goes through a certain amount of depression, especially the kind of depression where you feel like you're not where you're supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? You feel like you haven't accomplished enough. You feel like that financially everybody has it and you don't. You feel like so-and-so has it better off than I do. And that kind of stuff will wreck you. That kind of stuff, I mean, because that's where I was. There were times, so I stopped for a minute, where I looked at my life and I compared it to other people, and I was like, man, my life kind of sucks. And then someone, you know, sat me aside and they're like, what? Look at all you've accomplished. Look at all you've done. Man, what are you talking about? And they're like, Goose, how many people do you know that have been married for over 30 years? Okay. How many people do you know have a master's degree? Well, okay. How many people do you know have an award-winning short films, award-winning screenplays, these festivals? Okay. How many people do you know have been to Disney World 4 times? How many people do you know who have published 3 books? How many people do you know who have worked in radio as long as you did? Look at your life, dude. And I actually had to step back and I looked at my life, and this person actually told me, he goes, man, I wish I had your life. And that's what kind of got me. I was paying so much attention of being envious of other people. I never really thought about anybody ever being envious of me. Because, you know, when you're depressed, why would anybody be envious of you? And in reading this book, I realized, you know, I've been depressed. Of course, depression also leads to anxiety. I knew I had anxiety. That was a no-brainer. But, and I haven't even gotten that far in this book, and I realized I've been depressed for most of my life. Not like severely clinically depressed to the point where I can't get out of bed. I mean, I still did the things I needed to do. I still did the things I had to do. You know, and people were always saying the same thing. What do you got to be depressed about? Why are you so depressed? And a lot of it had to be that I had certain expectations of my life, and I wasn't personally meeting them. You know, a lot of people were saying, well, that's up to you, isn't it? Yeah, it's up to me. Of course it's up to me. If God allow it, I'd love to be able to change some things in my life. Like right now, going off of this walk, getting nice and tired. My leg is sore, but I feel better because I had to make the decision to get this done. Even though I've already been out today and I've already got my walk. If you see my video on Mill Creek Park, man, that was a walk too. That was a big walk. But I guess the end of my story is this, especially to men, and that is if you've got depression, don't be afraid to talk about it. Don't be afraid to admit it. This isn't something you can just walk off. This isn't something that you could just throw dirt on and be okay. Sometimes we got to talk about these things. Sometimes we got to bring these things up. Because if we don't, we're just going to end up a wreck. We're going to end up a wreck. We're going to end up breaking down. And we're honestly going to think that, no one cares. When the truth of the matter is I know now, everybody cares. A lot of people care. I know that because you would be leaving me comments saying, hey, keep it up. Thank you for coming on my walk today and listening to me rant about this. I really appreciate it. I'll see y'all later.